Welcome to Mother's Haven, a podcast where mothers are challenged to try for more through access to help, hope, and a pathway to healing. Every mother goes through various phases and seasons where the daily navigates distress, discomfort, and wholesome experiences. I have personally walked the path of various pain points and experienced certain life changing situations in my own journey, which actually brings me here to offer you a hand to help, a voice of hope, and a pathway to healing. Each time you listen, a rush of liberation comes through because I'm here to validate your freedom and also to challenge you to be a mother and much more. All right, welcome to yet another episode at Carry Space Podcast. Today we have an amazing guest, a wonderful sister of mine. She's an Amazon, a super curator, and a sweetheart. It's an honor to have her on our platform, and it's going to be a very exciting and enlightening as well as inspiring time hearing from her. So she'll be telling us about herself. She'll be telling us everything she does and every expression of hers because she's a powerful woman who has found her pathway to healing, who has found a pathway to strength and been able to thrive and rise above whatever limitations or challenges that has come her way in current times. So join me as we welcome a wonderful woman, Faith Oguntayo. So you'll be hearing from her. Over to you. You're welcome, Faith.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it and I feel very honored to be here and I'm grateful for this opportunity. Okay, so my name is thank you. My name is Faith Adebimpe Oguntayo. I'm fondly called Feto. It's a nickname I've had since I was in nursery school, and the nickname has stayed through nursery, primary, secondary, first degree, second degree, church, family, like literally it has been my nickname everywhere. So that's kind of that's kind of like stuck there. So I'm an accountant. I'm also a travel enthusiast. I'm a travel blogger at www.foto.com.ng. I'm sure with the little summary, you already know what inspired the blog name. Yeah, so I like to describe myself as an unapologetic child of God because everything I do, I like it to always like glorify God. I'm not perfect or close to being perfect in any way, but I understand like, and I have the conviction that God is sovereign and God is supreme. So I try most times to always like put God first in anything or any step I want to take. Yeah, so that's basically me in summary.
Wow. That's amazing. I love the
I'm
part about the
also
unapologetic child of God. Wow.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, yeah. So I'm also a convener of a worship group called Worship Him Now and Always. It's just a group of youths that come together from time to time to have like worship programs and concerts and meetings. So sometimes we meet online, sometimes we meet physically. So we just gather together to glorify God and our audience of word. So I love gisting, I love exploring. Yeah, and I have a degree in accounting and I used to love the field so much, but yeah, I still love the field, but now I'm like exploring other parts, like trying to explore aspects in like management consulting and other business areas too as well.
Wow. That's awesome. There's some transitioning going on and multiple expressions, as I can see from being coming from the accounting background, management, worship, travel blogging. It's amazing. It's an honor once again to have you on board. So I would like you to share with the Carry Space audience about your 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 background and the things that where you have encountered God, where you've encountered Christ with regards to finding help, hope, and healing as Christ faces the bound?
Okay, so I was born from a place of faith. My mom conceived me from the place of faith, and my journey has been more of like a faith journey because she had a couple of challenges along the line in some part of her young adult days, and so she was just inspired that okay, I'm her first daughter, that my name was going to be Faith, because while reflecting on some of the things she had gone through, even like before she had me. So um for most part of my life, I just used to always try to activate what my name actually means in my life. So, and I know I've gone through several challenges health wise, academically, and in other areas. And I've discovered that a lot of times when we sometimes go through challenges, when we're in the midst of that situation, and when it seems like that situation is in that point that it's overwhelming us, we find it difficult to stay trusting. And even when, like, the Bible is my favorite book and it's always my right hand man, even sometimes when I feel like okay, I want to activate what the word of God is saying, is sometimes difficult. So I also discovered at some point that sometimes when it's at that point, it might be difficult to pray or activate the word by reciting it. I discovered that sometimes taking like worship approach or a praise approach usually gets me in that mood to be able to have the strength to pray and to be able to have the strength to read the scriptures and confess God's word. And so I, like, when I think of some of the things I've gone through, I remember a particular health challenge I can never forget that I had in my final year, a few days to my final semester exams. It was a really overwhelming period. And every year I celebrate the anniversary of that deliverance, because that night I almost thought like I was literally gone like that night, because I don't think there's any other point in my life like I've experienced that much pain. And I reflect, I remember the events of that night. I threw up minimum 8 times. I just kept on swelling. And then I became so weak. After I finished throwing up food, I began throwing up the liquid in me. After the liquid had finished, then it was just spit. And I was just wondering, like, what's going on? Like, where's all this coming from? I remember going to the health center and the doctor screaming like, why am I just coming since afternoon that I've been feeling that way? And I really didn't know how I was going to get out of that situation, because at that point I was very weak. And there's this thing um my mom used to say about a prayer bank, and it's one conversation I've had with her that when I remember it, it really inspires me that always pray ahead for a raining day, because there are some situations you might find yourself that might be difficult to pray. For instance, I know like a pregnant woman in the labor room, at that time she's going through that labor, she might find it difficult praying because she really doesn't have the strength to at that time. Her family and friends here might have been praying for her, but if she has been praying ahead during a pregnancy, there's that prayer bank that God has, like, yes, this my daughter has been seeking my face concerning birthing this child, and that's in that time is going to like help. So in my mind, I was just playing through like worship songs, and because I didn't have that strength that time to even pray or confess positive words. And also I know PCOS to another health challenge. I remember when initially you said that this was something that and I was googling the symptoms and I was seeing all sorts of symptoms. I was so scared and I was finding it hard to um remove some negative thoughts from my mind. So at that point too, I just resorted to worship, and then as more strength was coming, I was gaining more confidence to pray, more confidence to recite scriptures that like by his stripes we are healed, and other scriptures on healing and how Jesus is our balm of Gilead. And even other challenges too, like seeking an opportunity in career or business world, and trying making several attempts, and just seems like this thing isn't coming. I know there are times God has just showed me that what if this opportunity is not for you? What if it's something better I'm even looking forward to giving you? Or sometimes when prepared so hard in school, like for a test or an exam, and then the grading meets up to the expectation of that preparation, when I felt like I put all, being very dedicated in classes, tutorials, reading on my own, doing all the assignments, and see like, why is the grade not meeting up to this? And for some people, it might have been like some of my friends, then that I shared it with, they understood my pain, but I feel like sometimes too, we all have different challenges. Different people have different ways they deal with different challenges. So sometimes that part, that academic part, needs to look like something that's serious, the way it used to affect me emotionally, and my mental health. But gradually, in different ways, even in ways that I didn't expect, like God kept on showing up for me. And I remember even that health challenge I talked about in final year earlier, even a few days to the first paper I had, a few days to that time was when that issue happened. I already thought I was going to have to start applying for makeup and all of those things. And I had not been having good grades in that course previously. But miraculously, God made a way that it was even in that semester, even in the midst of that pain, that God gave me my best grade I had in that course. And so sometimes what I also do when I face new challenges in this, whether career wise, business wise, or and in other areas, I just try to remember some of the testimonies I've had and some of the situations I felt like I wasn't going to be able to, I didn't know how I was going to be able to come out of it. But God showed up for me, and God like made a way, and I used that to encourage myself. So sometimes, even aside being encouraged by other people's testimonies, people that have gone through similar situations that you've gone through, even your own previous testimonies, even if it's not that same situation you've been in, but even if it's not something similar to that situation you are currently in that you've been in before, but situations of when God has showed up for you, can encourage you to trust God that He that has done it before, He can do it again, and He that He has started a good work in your life is faithful to complete it and see it to perfection. And that God is always faithful, dependable, and more than enough. And even when
Wow.
you feel like, yes, God is faithful, He's dependable, and He's more than enough. And even when you feel like you've done everything right, and or you're trying your best to always live a righteous and holy life, and work hard and do things here, and it seems like things are not turning out the way you expect it to, just always trust God that in the end it's going to make a way, and He truly always shows up for His. And like the Bible says, that having done all, shall you stand till the appointed time, like God's going to bring your miracle, that is going to bring your breakthrough your way, and He's surely going to show up for you. And sometimes seemingly some things like I feel like might have made me feel depressed at some point in my life. When I actually think back and I remember those things, I'm like, why did I allow something like this? It's not that serious to have made me to fall into depression. But thank God for God and seek God's face. He brought me out of such issues. And that's why platforms like this are very good to help people that are going through such things to actually listen. Because sometimes when people don't get the right counsel or the right environment around them, the depression is taken to another level, and it becomes worse. And we hear of cases of suicide, and greater mental health issues and all. And mental over time, I've realized that mental health and emotional well-being is very, very important for us as humans, and it's not something to be neglected. We really need to take care of our mental health and emotional well-being. That's why it's important that even as we go about our daily struggles, we take time out from time to time to rest, to rejuvenate, to go on vacation, even staycations, vacations, even at periods they can't even do vacations. But it's important to rest, it's important to take a break. And basically, aside doing regular things that gives you money, or you can also make it a priority to spend time with friends and family and do other things you love, other passions you love, whether it's it's cooking, if it's baking, if it's painting or anything you feel like you really, really enjoy doing. Because especially in this our current world, so many people are doing careers or businesses that they might not really be passionate about, they don't really enjoy it, or this is a burden for them, but because you know it's what's sustaining them financially, it's what's bringing in money for them. So that's why they keep doing it, which is okay. So that's why in the midst of that, it's important to find time to actually do the things you love. Thank you. So, would you have any questions based on what I've said? Or
Wow, wow, wow. Oh, your stories are quite touching and amazing. Your testimonies, they're not just stories because they're actually testimonies of the amazing things that God has done. And I was able to pick one or two things from what you said. You talked about the prayer bank that your mom taught you, how it's important for you to have already been a woman of prayer, such that in trying times and situations, it can actually stand as a pillar, as a voice for you in situations like that. And I also love the concept about your name and the practicality about it, how your name began to like fit into your life character and situation, how you became a woman of faith, such that we don't just bear names that have meaning, but we actually activate those meanings in our lives. And it shows in the various expressions that you mentioned, academically, how you have to apply faith in your health, even in your career, as you try to just forge ahead and it looks like doors are closing, you're able to make a positive attitude about it and be able to trust God to make ways and to open opportunities that are actually meant for you. So this has really been amazing. I I really want to appreciate you. Thank you for sharing from your heart. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you for sharing your testimonies because I know that someone going through something similar will actually be able to pick something, a sense of hope, a sense of help from all you have discussed and shared with us. Then I really would like for you to talk a little bit about your support system because it's one thing that we advocate for, that people should actually find help when they are in trying times, when they are in difficult seasons and situations. Because I realize that a lot of people, both men and women, tend to just suffer in silence, tend to bottle in their challenges, tend to not share that pain that they are going through. They don't name their pain, they don't talk about it, and it makes it all worse. So, how did you work around your support system? How was your support system beneficial to your healing process? Because, yes, you talked about the prayer bank, so that means you had the spiritual support already. But how was your physical support system beneficial to your healing process?
okay, yeah, I agree with you. Support system is very important. The reason why God hasn't created just one person or a particular group in this world, part of the reasons is so that we can help each other, connect with each other, support each other, and do life together. So yes, yeah, in support system is something that has somehow like been my mantra for a while, and sometimes I share with some of my friends that sometimes people don't find it easy to open up, but it's very, very important that you have a select people, some people. It doesn't have to be a specific number, it doesn't have to be so many people, but prayerfully seek God's face, and have people that you can reach out to when you're going through a particular challenge. And it could also be that for different challenges you go through, you can have different sets of people that can be support systems in those areas. For instance, if it's a health challenge, you can have a friend that is a support system, and also that you pray together and seek God's face and to come out of it. You could also have someone that is in that medical field that if there's a care required, that could actually give you the right advice on things you need to do, and um not necessarily panic you. Apologies to the medical profession, where I understand from some conversations I've had with some people that sometimes some people don't like immediately seeking medical advice and help because of, sometimes how these issues are inflated, and it makes it seem so overwhelming. So it's also important you prayerfully seek God to, a friend that is a doctor that can guide you on how you can walk through it. Pray and yes, pray. And even as a person of faith and activating your faith, it doesn't mean that um you don't have faith if you are seeking medical help or medical attention. You can't do that, and by God's grace, you can, overcome. So in any field, if it's in career too, if you have like someone that you see as a mentor that is thriving and excelling in that field too, you can always, and sometimes it doesn't have to be people you already know. You can establish relationships with new people in that area that you feel like can help you. So for support system, my parents have been my strongest support system. I know my sister too, other members of my extended family and my friends. I know at different times I've reached out to different people on different issues and challenges, and they've encouraged me where necessary. And in times where there were steps needed to take more than extra encouragement, like for instance, if there's some things I wasn't understanding, like in school, and there were people that could help, they reached out to help. Um, health challenge and there's an uncle of mine that is a doctor too that guided me on some of the things I could do to walk through it. So yeah, that's basically how I've used support system to help myself through my journey. And I'm the kind of person that if I'm going through something, I don't like to like hide it. Or another thing is to like not be ashamed of what you're going through. And sometimes some people feel like maybe it's their fault, maybe they didn't do something right, that's why a certain thing is happening to them. No, don't blame yourself. As even if you actually made some mistakes that led you to that point, you should still like forgive yourself and be able to move on. So it's very important not to bottle up issues or just keep things to yourself. You need to have people that you can trust and talk to. Yes, we know that in today's world, sometimes it's not everybody that is the right person for you to be the right person to be a support system. So that's why you have to be prayerful about it and ask God, who and who are the people I can confide in that can help me, and sometimes the help might even just be beyond words of advice and encouragement. It can also be, for instance, if someone needs a particular instrument to do something, and someone is able to, link you with what you need, or if you're in their need financially, a person is even able to help you out of that situation and many more. So sometimes even the help even goes beyond just words of encouragement. The person might actually be able to either fully solve, or God can use the person to either fully solve or partly solve the issue you're going through. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. Like you've hit the nail. You've spoken wisely, and you've actually emphasized how important it is for one to have a select few that you trust, that you can talk to, that will not magnify the issues, that will not bring it out of proportion, but will still be able to provide you that source of encouragement, that support that you need. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be mentors, leaders, but it's important that they are trustworthy and they are encouragers to help you through that phase or that situation that you're going through, that challenge. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing time. It's been an enlightening and an
Thank you
inspiring
very
session with
much.
you. Yes, God bless you, God increase you, and we are so grateful to have you on this platform. God bless you.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me once again. I really appreciate the opportunity. And I hope
Well,
my story has inspired people out there. Part of my story has inspired people.
yes. So much. So inspiring. Thank you so much, Miss Faith. I did being tired. It's been an honor. Thank you and God bless.
God bless you too. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on this episode on Mother's Haven podcast. I believe believe you've had a life-changing and liberating experience. To connect with us or reach out for support, we got you. Kindly send us a DM on Instagram at Mother's Haven or on mothershaven.com. Also, kindly hit the subscribe button to catch every new episode of our validating and inspiring content. Do also leave us a review. We'd love to hear from you.